she was just, whatever. Hey, what's up guys, it's Kaelin and I am back with another video. And today's video is going to be somewhat different, a thing new that I have decided. This video is going to be kind of new because it is going to be a show that I am working on doing, I guess, now, called Watch or Not. And it's basically where I will review TV shows or movies and tell you guys whether or not you should watch or not. Side note, if you guys are new here, welcome. What's up? I'm Kaelin. I upload videos, whenever I upload videos, and I'm trying to get better at that. That's a work in progress. We are consistently trying to do better. Subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss up. Looking out for you. So yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right into this. We're gonna go to HBO's website because we are reviewing Euphoria, and whether or not it's a chop or not. According to HBO's website, Euphoria follows a group of high school students as they navigate love and friendships in a world of drugs, sex, trauma, and social media. So essentially, when we start the show, we are looking at it through Rue's perspective. Rue is usually the narrator in the show, and that's played by Zendaya. It was marketed like with just Zendaya, but it ended up being an ensemble cast, which was one thing that I definitely did say I liked about it. And so the way the show is going to work is I'm going to tell you guys what I like, what I didn't like, all of the in between. So they narrate it through Zendaya, and you are watching her character Rue, which is a drug addict after she gets out of rehab. So it starts right after she gets out of rehab, and you kind of learn like the events before and after throughout the show. It's definitely one of those coming of age type of stories, very Degrassi-esque. Like it gives me new age Degrassi. It's real, raw, and honest, which it definitely was. So that's what initially drew me into it. And because at first I didn't necessarily know if Jules was transgender or anything until like, I think it was like the end of the first or second episode maybe. But I think that's when it like kind of clicked. It was like, oh, okay. But I did like the way that they like didn't say much about like gender and like sexuality, and that was one thing that was like a theme throughout the entire show. And so that was also something that I really did like. But tapping into Zendaya, let's just go right into Zendaya. This was a big moment for Zendaya because we've seen her in like little bit of things outside of Disney, but everything has been like very Disney-esque. She's giving very PG. This was HBO, definitely going to be rated for mature audiences, and she's already coming at you with drug addict. It's a big moment for her as like an artist to do really well, like not necessarily to do well, but it was, I guess that pressure could definitely be seen because it's like, okay, if it wasn't a good show, it's a chop. And then also if it was just like not believable because we automatically think of you as Disney, then it's just like also weird. The writing was really well because she was able to not just come at you super abrasive. Like the show is very like upfront and in your face, and she definitely does the drugs, but it was not like, oh, I'm trying to prove myself. It was more so just like an honest representation of a girl who has an issue. It showed a range that we hadn't really seen like in her Disney Channel shows. Like we saw that she was a good actress, but the bar is not necessarily set as high for acting on Disney than it is, or it's just different, let me say that, on Disney than it is on like real, for lack of better words, TV, especially something like HBO. So for her to be able to kind of explore that and work with the character with Rue, who's going through a lot of emotions and as a person that doesn't necessarily like to express a lot of her emotions, you do get to tap into some of those like deeper lines and deeper subtext things that Zendaya had to go and work through. Zendaya has really good moments throughout the show. So for me as an actor, like looking at it, I was just like, okay, we're going there. I like it. I see it. I see what they're doing there. I'm here for it. 110% here. She's also just an entertaining person. I think that it was one of those things where even though she was seen as like the lead, she was able to demand that moment and demand the camera and be very captivating in the moment when she needed to be, but also kind of just be a part of the cast. And it didn't seem like, especially throughout the show, that it was just about her. Like early on, of course, it's gonna seem like more so about Zendaya's character, but it didn't seem like, oh, Zendaya and her friends, or Zendaya and these other characters. It was like we end up by the end of the season knowing so much about each one of these characters, tied with like the great production and the writing and her acting skills. Like it was a good move for Zendaya in my personal opinion. I'm really excited to see where season 2 goes and where like Zendaya goes as an actress in general, because I think that she's just gonna evolve really well, and it's something that you can definitely see that she is actively trying to grow on. So now let's tap into some of those other characters. Jules is the transgender role in here, and like I said, I think a little bit earlier, that I didn't notice until like, I didn't really notice that she was transgender until like second episode in, or like maybe the end of first episode. It was just like one episode where it was kind of like a scene where it's like she's been very female presenting, and then you see like male genitalia, and it's just like, oh, okay. I tapped in. Then she is kind of like Rue's love interest throughout the show. She's Rue's love interest, but you don't really know like necessarily if she is into Rue that much. And that's one thing that I didn't like about her character. I'm gonna definitely say this. I didn't necessarily know if I liked her character by the end of the show. Like, I kind of seemed like she was very a little bit manipulative, and like, it was just a little, it was a couple of things where I was just like, I feel like you should stay away from that little girl, but okay, whatever. Nate is crazy. Nate is 110% certifiably in fucking say. Nate is played by Jacob Elordi, I believe is his name. He's an Australian actor, amazing, phenomenal. His character arc throughout the show has been gnarly. At the end of the show, I was like, because oh boy was tripping out. He was tweaking out on the floor, and his whole family situation is very, very intense throughout the entire show. Alexa Demi, she's first of all goddamn stunning. But Alexa Demi, her character, which was, oh, what is the girlfriend's name? I don't even remember all their names. I'm trying to like remember the regular names, and then they act that it's a lot. So yeah, y'all know who I'm talking about. Oh girl, she was fly. She was always cute. Always cute. Every single episode. I don't know what bitch in high school ever looked like that. She, honestly, throughout the entire show, stole a lot of the moments, because her character was one like the it girl kind of bitchy teen, but just like how truthful she was in her delivery throughout everything. Like, she seemed like that irritatingly annoying bitch that has a lot of problems, like in high school. Yeah, I definitely got that from her. Her character, they didn't really give her much background. Like, I mean, they did. They give every character kind of like their own little episode, but hers was kind of like, okay, but like, and it made sense. But it was just like, okay, she's still like just a little bit of annoying. I think she does music on the outside of the show as well, and so I'm gonna be interested because we got to see some or listen to some of Zendaya's music in this episode. So I want to know like if some of the other cast members, like hidden talents, will be like shown throughout the show as well. That's gonna be interesting to tap into, because Zendaya has given us bops. She's actually given a Replay is a bop, and y'all slept on that, and I'll never forgive y'all for that. I won't do. Barbie feet. Her last name, Barbie. Hey girl. She was like the one person that I was rooting for the entire show. Like, all of them were all super drug infested, and they were all just doing a hell of a lot. But her, I rooted for her the most. First, kind of gave her like the insecure, like, she's thick, but like, girl, like, she's just the thick girl, like, that's it. Y'all trying to play my good sis, but she really out here stunting on y'all. And then she came out there and started stunting on y'all, and that's what y'all were mad at. Y'all weren't ready for her to come out there and say, I'm a dominatrix, I am running this checkup. She was giving you hot girl fucking summer right there throughout this show. The entire time, she was stunting on these niggas, pimping these niggas. She was literally pimping these niggas. I'm getting a check. Y'all are all in high school worried about miscellaneous drama, and I'm out here getting a check looking like a bad bitch. In real life, she's a bad bitch. Whoever Barbie is, a bad bitch. I don't care. I looked at her Instagram and I was like, she seems cool as fuck. I want to be her friend for fucking sure. So Barbie, it's in your court. Okay, so I did have like just a little problem. The one grievance that I did have about like the whole friend group circle thing was the fact that there wasn't much diversity within the friend groups. Like, they did have the girlfriend, Alexa, who was very, she can tell me honestly what the fuck ever. She can honestly tell me any race, ethnicity, and I'd be like, okay, cool. Like, granted, Alexa and Barbie are both like, they definitely give me like a mixture of things. They're very ethnically ambiguous, but they give you ethnicity. They were there. But other than that, there wasn't like many brown skinned girlfriends or other classmates really, for real. Like, we did have McKay. We'll give you McKay and Zendaya. Zendaya was like the quote unquote star though, so we're not gonna tap into her. But McKay, he was the one black guy. There wasn't another black girl, brown girl. So I was just kind of like, I mean, I guess she's in like a middle of nowhere town, but like we could have tapped into it. All I'm saying is we could have tapped into some other people because McKay didn't even go to school there. So I just feel like we could have had that. That's not wild. Okay, cool. Especially for a show that like has such a prominent star and prominent people of color backing the show. I definitely feel like the show could have definitely had, I would hope, the main cast, but like if not even in that, like I didn't even really see many other people of color like at the school. Maybe that's just because I wasn't paying like that close of attention. But when I noticed that like the friends were all pretty much like white or white presenting, I was just like, oh, okay. And then I didn't really pay attention and see like many other people of color. Like there was the group of people who were like having the sister smoke weed. So that was like worth noting. The music on the show was really, really good, like exceptionally good. Like it was definitely on trend. Like sometimes you can have those shows that will be like for teenagers or for young adults, but they have like music that like nobody's fucking listening to and you're just like, what's going on? This show, and I mean, it also was executive produced by Drake, so I would hope that there was some good ass music in here, but this music was good. It was popping. I mean, I heard Meg Thee Stallion. The music was, the soundtrack was good. It was a bop. Like every time, like I know there was several times I was just like, oh, hey, no. Yeah, it was cute. When the show first started, it was kind of off-putting how much drugs was in the show. Like I'm not a judgmental person. I definitely said like whatever you do, like do it safe. But it was just like very intense. Like the first episode, like I vividly remember being like, oh, this is a lot. I think it got more like palatable throughout the show. I think like the goal was to like be so striking at first and then kind of like layer it back on the drugs and more focus on like the reasons why they're doing the things, which was good. But at first I was just kind of like, I don't know. Like by the second or third episode, I was like more so weirdly intrigued by the show rather than like genuinely interested. I was just like, why do I care right now? Like what is it? Because there's something that's making me care with the show. Like, don't quite know. By the third episode, I was like, oh my god, Nate's fucking crazy. Oh, girl is out here. Whoa, they are out here. These kids are out here, and I'm really just confused as where the fuck are the parents? Because like my mom was always like, where are you? Who are you with? Who are the friends? Where are their parents? Gonna have their numbers? What is their license plate? I don't know if that's what the kids are doing today. Like I know kids do drugs and all, but if this is any representation of what the kids are doing today, woo! Kids. Woo! Y'all got a lot of things that y'all are doing. A lot of miscellaneous drugs. I wish that it was more so, like they do give you the if you need to talk to somebody kind of hotline thing at the end, and like they let it be known that, but I do wish that it was some sort of resolve or like a little bit of a healthier relationship with the drugs and like getting them out of that situation, which is like maybe being a little bit too hopeful, but it was kind of like, I don't know what old girl is gonna do. Not going down the right path right now. I also really, really appreciate HBO for this because there isn't really a show that comes to mind for me that is a coming of age story, especially for like high schoolers and young adults, that's been of really good quality and really, really dishonest, because it seems like these kids, like it seems like an honest representation of what these kids are going through and what these kids are dealing with. And I really, really enjoyed the fact that it didn't seem kind of cheesy. It wasn't trying to be cool. It wasn't trying to do anything. Like the kids were just kind of doing shit. And I think that that's something that needs to be said to kids, that you can just kind of go out there and explore. And sometimes I do look back at my high school experience and I'm like, I wish I would have explored a little bit more. Maybe not all the way over there, but like, you know, a little bit. I like the fact that shows like this do have that, gives like just representation for everybody. Like I saw a lot of different stories represented and told in this show. Even though there was like an hour, HBO has a really good way of fitting a lot of content into an hour segment and being able to push that out in a way that it's not like kind of like, oh, like, even though, because I was taken aback up front, throughout the show it was kind of like you learn so much about these characters, and even though it may be centered around one character, you learn so much about the other characters throughout it. So the writing was really good. Of course, the cinematography was amazing. It was one of those shows that the name Euphoria doesn't even do it justice, because like sometimes, especially if you're high or something, like if you are doing drugs on this show, my god, it's an experience. The camera angles, from the lighting, the like what they're actually saying, and the different like segments that they have within the show that are like about the show, but like within the show, it's just very organized chaos, but it's it's a very sensory show, and it is not a bad thing at all. Like, I really enjoyed it, but it was just like, okay, I haven't seen something really like this, and I like it. It gets you to think. It's funny, yet very dark, and yet very relatable. And I definitely think that HBO did a really good job with picking this show, and everybody who's a part of the show is doing a really good job. I think that it is a show that anybody can kind of watch. I mean, whether or not you are a adult, whether or not you are a kid or a teenager actually going through this, I think it's a show that anybody can kind of relate to or see like little versions of themselves in. Even if it's for the parents, just to see like what the fuck are your kids doing, so you can have a better relationship with them and like talk to them about some of the shit that they're going through. I think I definitely say it's a good show. I definitely think that if you have a chance to watch it and you have HBO where you are, I would definitely say tune in, tap in, go for it, watch it. But without further ado, I hope you guys like that. I am going to be kind of reworking how I do this show, because I want it to flow a little bit better, and I also want to make sure that I'm talking about things that you guys actually care about, because I may care about certain things you guys don't give a fuck about. So if you guys want to be talking about different parts of shows, or know more about like different shows, or want me to specifically touch on certain topics about the show, like, let's interact, you know? Follow me on the different pages, Twitter, Instagram, or something. Be like, oh bitch, did you see this episode? Yes, we can talk about it, and I can make sure that these are things that you guys can hear and know about. And love you. See you. You should also watch my next video. Do that. My face doesn't have to leave your screen. You can. Go right over there.